we're going to do something really interesting today that we haven't done before. And this is something that I am really passionate about. And I hope by the end of today's session, you're going to feel the same kind of excitement I have right now towards this channel, which is YouTube. Because when we sort of embarked on this journey to help our community get better at YouTube marketing, we realize how much misinformation there is out there. I think a lot of us right now probably look to examples of people to follow. You know, many of you know the top YouTubers in the space, but we realize there's a sort of general misunderstanding of how to really grow your YouTube audience, and more importantly, how to get customers from YouTube. What we're going to do today is share with you the lessons and learnings we've had analyzing over 5,000 YouTube videos over the last few months. I'll talk about three big categories, which is number one, we'll talk about choosing the right topics. Number two, choosing the right titles. And finally, number three, talking about the show flow, the hooks and the show flow. And everything I'm going to share with you today is based off of not my opinion, not my kind of insight as a professional marketer. Rather, it's based off of the analysis of thousands of videos created by the best creators in real estate. In fact, let me go ahead and share my screen because I want to give you a little bit behind the scenes look at this. When you look at, and you should be able to see my screen now, we actually built a little internal app that allows us to track over 40,000 videos across all these different creators. We look at the view count, the social engagement, the virality, the title, the thumbnail. We analyze all of this. And this is updating every single day for us to really understand what's happening right now in real estate. Now, we've taken that information and we've identified 300 of the best videos, and we've organized them by creator, category, when it was posted, the outlier score, the framework, all of that. We've kind of encoded these videos to understand that. And then from there, we began to do our analysis. So I share all this kind of behind the scenes kind of work with you so you understand that the data I'm going to share with you is based off of our deep understanding of what's actually working within real estate. So on that note, today's session is, if you're jumping on with us, it's a YouTube masterclass, the top learnings of analyzing over 5,000 of the best videos in real estate. My name is Jimmy Mackin. If you want to stay connected to me on social media, the best place is actually, I'm going to be on Instagram. I'm still very active on Instagram. I just started, because I've been so inspired, I just started building my own YouTube channel. So I'm in the early days just like you. You can certainly connect with me over on YouTube as well. And so what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover topics, titles, and hooks, which is going to be the show flow. So let's get into the first section here, which is YouTube. Why am I so bullish on YouTube? We all know YouTube has about 2.5 billion monthly active users. The average person who uses YouTube spends about 48 minutes per day on that platform. There are about a billion minutes watched every single day. And of course, it has a tremendous amount of monthly visitors. Now, what's mind-blowing about this is that the average watch time, which is a really important metric in marketing, the average watch time, my buddy Sharon calls it time on brand, is between 4 to 5 minutes. And so this creates a sort of opportunity for us as marketers and as business owners. If we can get people who are prospective customers, buyers and sellers, consuming 4 to 5 minutes of our content on average, I mean, that is the best type of advertising you can generate. Understanding that most people who try to use YouTube are overwhelmed by it. Too many options, too many choices, feeling that they're kind of always stuck in the starting gate. How many of you who are watching right now want to be more active on YouTube, have maybe tried a little bit in the past, but either have been inconsistent or unable to start? What I found to be the case is that we just don't have the right framework in place. If we answer some of the basic questions around choosing a topic, title, and show flow, we can kind of get into the red zone on creating these videos. Now, I'll give you some advice on this as well. You do not want to jump into buying a bunch of video equipment. You don't want to hire a videographer. You don't want to, download a bunch of different apps to help you with post-production. These are all things that kind of come later in the game as you start to get really, really consistent. When I've analyzed these videos, you would be shocked, completely shocked to realize some of the lower production quality. And so, of course, I'm a high production quality guy. I wanted to have the best audio, best video I can. But also, the reality is the vast majority of the videos I see are just not that, they're not that high quality. The audio is great, the lighting's good, but we're not seeing this sort of like has to be level 10 production or it doesn't get views. In fact, the exact opposite appears to be true. Let's talk about topics. So again, after analyzing 5,000 videos, I'm going to give you 9 topics that we found to be most prevalent amongst viral videos. Again, these are what is actually working now. So the first, of course, is anything that related to luxury in your area or unique property tours. These types of topics tend to do very well in on YouTube. Anytime you can niche down and focus on not just Tampa, but let's say Ybor City, or maybe not even just Ybor City, but maybe a specific street within Ybor City. This gives you a opportunity to kind of start to rank amongst the traffic that you're seeing in that particular area. Market trends and real estate predictions. I'm just giving you, these are not general topics. These are the topics that are going viral right now within real estate. Number 4, anything related to home buying and home selling tips. And we'll talk about how to structure that the right way. Investment and income properties, that's a huge untapped category for real estate agents. Mistakes, risks, and cautionary tales, pitfalls, moving to, before you do this, avoid this, like those types of topics tend to do very well on YouTube. And then finally, anything related to affordability, no surprise there. You know, affordability is at an all-time low right now across North America. And then anything related to home renovation and value-adding upgrades. Now, let me actually spend just one moment on number 8 here. What's mind-blowing to me, Zillow put out this data recently. It's a homeowner consumer report, and they asked consumers, how many of you made home improvements before selling your house? And what you realize was, I think the number was around 6 out of 10 consumers fixed something up in their house before selling it. And so number 8 is kind of a little bit of an untapped category because you think 8 is actually only for existing homeowners, but really it's a very specific type of seller or would-be seller or soon-to-be seller is looking for information about this particular topic. So again, just to recap, luxury and unique property tours. You may not have luxury in your area, but you certainly have unique property tours. Any neighborhood and city insight, real estate market trends and predictions, home buying and selling tips, investment and income properties, mistakes and cautionary tales, and then finally, affordable housing and then home renovation. These are kind of the top of the champagne tower for you, if you will. Clayton, excellent point. The filter I want you to look at these content ideas through is the filter of what are the types of leads that I want to attract. So if I work with first-time home buyers, then affordability is probably a great topic. If I work with like maybe higher end or mid-tier sellers, then you probably wouldn't focus on, budget specific ideas. You might focus on the other topics that we covered as well. So great point there. So these are the 8 topics. Now let's talk about titles. We analyze titles and we understand kind of what's working right now in titles. So let me give you a couple of different categories of titles. We have, I think, 7 or 8 of these right now for you. And I'm actually including examples of thumbnails as well as part of this process. But the inside, let's go left to right. Inside or tour of insert price point. And so that doesn't have to be a $3 million property. It can be a $1 million property, a $500,000 property, but this inside or tour of and highlighting it. And again, the structure often is really highlighting the unique features of a home. So the higher the price point, the easier this is. The lower the price point, the harder this is. So finding unique features is really going to be an important part of the process. This one I see all of the time. When I'm looking at YouTube videos, when I'm looking at the different ones that are ranking, the mistakes to avoid or the negative tends to perform a lot better than the positive. So 5 mistakes to avoid before moving to insert your area. And that's, I think, just based on the root of psychology, which is loss aversion. People are twice as likely to avoid a loss than they are to pursue a gain. A lot of data actually supports that's much higher. So if this idea, people want to avoid making mistakes. They seek to avoid pain a lot more than they seek pleasure. This third category, which is these are not titles. Why blank will change blank. So this is a great example of like studying the real estate trends. Let me give you a real world example of this. So let's say, as an example, like we say right now, interest rates are back to damn near 7. But let's say when interest rates come back down to hopefully low 6s or 5s, you might say, why 5% interest rates will change the housing market. And that is a topical video that's giving relevant market information, that's giving a little bit of a prediction of what's going to happen when interest rates, if interest rates do come back down. And so this is a really important kind of framework, because you can do, why blank will impact home values, why blank will impact buyer demand, why blank will impact the number of homes being sold. So you can use that as a topic title to get to really get the creativity going there. Again, we talked about this already briefly, but avoid the blank common mistakes. You might say, avoid these 5 these 5 home improvement mistakes. You take a topic and then you apply kind of this title or this angle to it as well. This one is rushing right now. I cannot tell you how many videos I've seen go viral on small channels. But to be clear, I'm saying small channels that are under 300 subscribers, 500 subscribers, top X locations, right? Best and worst in type of home. So best and worst beachfront properties in San Diego, as an example. These types of videos are doing really, really well. And again, this focusing on newsjacking, this video is the Bank of Canada about to shock the housing market. So using any type of newsjacking, things that are happening right now within real estate, to create this kind of curiosity gap in the mind of the consumer. This is the what is it really like to live in an area? And this one's actually really interesting because I think it kind of gives a much more behind the scenes look. And then we go back to the affordability, which is the financial impact. Anytime you can talk about financial impact, you're going to get, I think, interest in that topic. We see this a lot with viral videos. These are the types of videos, again, analyzing 5,000 videos. These are the types of videos that are getting the most amount of engagement, the most amount of reach, and the most amount of views. Let's talk about hooks. By the way, just real quick, if you want to take I will send the slides out, but if you want to take a screenshot, we had AI analyze this for us, which is we had AI pull up and analyze all of the words that were being used in the most viral videos. These are the types of words that we see are most commonly appearing in videos that do well. And as you can already see, like, this goes back to the importance of just being really thoughtful about making sure you're grabbing people's attention when you're creating these videos. Now, we're going to get into hooks in a moment here, but let me just kind of talk about the video structure for a second. So this is actually based off of not our own analysis, but based off of, and by the way, everyone should check this out. This is the Mr. Beast leaked memo. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber in the world. He's got over 300 million subscribers, does almost $1 billion in volume. He had a 36-page leak memo that went viral. Incredible insight on running a business, but he also had a ton of insight on how to structure your videos to get more exposure. And so let me back up for a second here, because one of the things that he talked about, this is the video structure that Mr. Beast recommended. So this is exactly how he said you should structure your video. Shouldn't be a surprise. The first minute is a hook. Why am I watching this video? The minute 1 to 3 is a transition. This is sort of setting up the premise. This is you fulfilling upon the promise that you made. So if I were to do a video, let's say, on the top 5 mistakes to avoid when selling your home in 2025, that's the hook. I would immediately transition into the meat of that. There's no wasted space. There's no, let me give you a bunch of information, set you up. No, let's kind of get to the point quickly. And I actually would write this down. This is a technique I've used with all my public presentations, all my videos as well, all my content I post on social media. IBM used machine learning to analyze the best TED Talks, We're all familiar with TED Talks, right? Someone talks about global warming and climate change, or how to think differently, and business ideas, and medicine, all that. They analyzed literally tens of thousands of these videos across TED and TEDx. And they found there'd be four qualities, if you will, in the videos that did the best. And those qualities are when a speaker or presenter shares a stat, shares a story, makes a prediction, or engages the audience. Stat, story, prediction, engagement. And so when I think about creating a hook, of course, I'll give you a bunch of examples of that in just a moment. It's like, top 5 mistakes to avoid when selling your house at 25. But then when I get into the meat of the content, I think about what's an interesting stat I can share, what's an interesting story I can share, what's an interesting prediction I can make, and then how do I engage the audience with questions or thought experiments. And so as you go through your videos, you can use that kind of stat, story, engagement, prediction framework to allow you to make sure that you don't bore the customer. Because ultimately the goal is to drive up your watch time, drive up your engagement, which also improves your reach, which then kind of further improves your results. So you should be thinking about, how do I make it, not just how do I have a great hook, but how do I keep them engaged? And then Mr. Beast recommends this as a kind of end of the video. And again, he's using minute 3 to 6, but of course these videos could be 30 minutes longer or longer. Let's talk about hooks, because if you don't capture someone's attention, what ends up happening is you're never going to get to that kind of middle or end of the video. You're never going to get the kind of payoff that you want, which is getting customers. And so here are the different types of hooks we analyzed that we found to be most common or most prevalent in viral videos. So curiosity-driven hooks. You won't believe what's behind these doors. This 50K house has a surprise you'll never expect. Wait until you see the hidden feature in this room. So like some type of let me just spark the curiosity. Problem solution hooks. Thinking of buying in blank, watch this before you decide. Don't make this common mistake when buying a home. Here's why selling your home, why your home isn't selling, and how to fix it. Value prop. I'll show you how to make $100,000 a year with this one property. You could do, I'll show you how to make an additional 10% when you sell your house this year. And I love this one. These 5 home upgrades will double your property value. Probably untrue, but we don't have to be so sensationalized. You get the idea behind it. So curiosity-driven hooks, problem solution hooks, value proposition hooks. By the way, for those of you who are using Instagram, these would absolutely translate to Instagram Reels or TikToks for that matter. The bold or contrarian statement. This is where you can say, what is the common thing that the agents are telling consumers, and why don't I play the contrarian angle? Not for the sake of being contrarian, but for the sake of sort of standing out and being different. So buying a home, here's why that might be a huge mistake. And this is where you maybe talk about affordability. You talk about, hey, if you're looking to buy a house in this market and hoping you can sell it within 12 months, guess what? That's probably not a good idea. In fact, what we find to be true is that buying a house and holding it for, on average, 10 or 12 years is how you make money in real estate, even when the market is like it is today. So you can kind of play the contrarian angle and then educate the consumer on avoiding some of those mistakes. Why selling your home could be the worst decision. The truth about the housing market, by the way, great line. The truth about the housing market that nobody is telling you. This, and by the way, you know what the answer to that would be? Affordability is probably not going to get any better. That's the truth. And so what can we do to solve that problem? Let's provide them some solutions. FOMO, this neighborhood is about to explode in value. By the way, that's a really great example of a prediction. So this idea of looking at your area, understanding your market, and predicting where the best home appreciation is going to be. The transformations, I love these ones. So if you have an opportunity to do any type of transformation, that's always a huge, huge attraction. And then finally, local insights. Moving to city, here's what you should know. These are the best neighborhoods to invest in. Avoid these areas if you're moving to blank. You guys are, unlike me as a marketer, I'm not really held to any standards as it relates to fair housing or steering. So please, 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 please make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's as it relates to talking about, certain types of neighborhoods and affordability and all that fun stuff. But, just be cognizant of that as you're creating these different angles. Mistakes, prevention hooks, Don't make these 5 mistakes. Comparisons, by the way, comparisons, let me give you a quick pro tip on this one. Everybody should do this one. This is where you say, what does X get you in Y versus Z? So this would be, what does $1 million get you in Auburn, New Hampshire versus Bedford, New Hampshire? Now you can do that within the same area or in different states, but I like to create kind of like local content to keep people to attract that type of local audience, if you will. Local insights, mistakes to avoid, comparisons, and then financial investment hooks. And by the way, at the end of today's video, I'm gonna share with you what we're doing at Listing Leads, because I'm sure this is a lot of information to digest in a short amount of time. We want to make sure we provide a ton of value on today's session. I'm sure you're gonna have questions. I'm gonna come back and show you how we're doing this within Listing Leads, because I think you'll really dig the direction we're headed. Last thing for you today, before we pull this up, these are the metrics that actually matter: click-through rate, average view duration, average view percentage. Now, I'll focus in on the first two because I think there's some really important lessons for us. Click-through rate, just so everyone's aware of this, is when YouTube is showcasing your video, whether it's in the recommendations or suggestions, when they're showing your video, which can be a thumbnail and a title, how many people are actually clicking through on that? Now, I was talking to my buddy Andrew Bayan, who's a master at YouTube video marketing. He said, Jimmy, right now, the sweet spot is anytime you can get between 6 to 7%, the algorithm is going to reward you for that. They're going to show your video a lot more, and it's going to help you get more reach and more views and more customers. And so at the low end, if you're below like 5%, you should be looking at updating your title and updating your thumbnail. If you're above 6%, even as high as 7%, that means that title, that angle, and that thumbnail are really working for your target audience. And so the metric to pay attention to here, and Mr. Beast reinforces this, is you should look at the thumbnail and the title. The exact metric is anywhere between 4 to 6 is good. That's kind of the range. Anything below 4 is probably pretty bad. You should update your title and your thumbnail. Anything above 6 is really world class. And then finally, average view duration. This really represents how engaging is your video. So let's say, as an example, you have a high click-through rate, but you have a low average view duration. And just to give some context, according to Andrew, who again studies this stuff every day, he's like, you really should be averaging about 35 to 40%. So if your video is 10 minutes long, the average person should be watching it for like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. If your video is 30 minutes long, you want the average person watching it for at least 12 to 15 minutes. So anywhere kind of in that like 30 to 45% range is a good average view duration. If you have a bad average view duration, that means there's something wrong with the structure of your video. Go back to what I shared earlier: the hook, the stat, the story, the prediction, the engagement. What can you be doing to increase the sort of dynamic nature, the energy in your video, keep people's attention? If you have a low click-through rate, you should fix your thumbnail and your title. If you have a low average view duration, you should fix the structure of your next video, meaning figuring out a way to make that video more engaging, a better hook, a better transition, more stats, more stories, more engagement, more prediction, faster pace, more jump cuts, all kind of tools within your disposal. At what point should we change the thumbnail or title if we're not getting great results? You will know within the first week whether a video is doing well compared to the rest of your channel. If it's underperforming the rest of your channel within the first week, that's when you think about going back and updating it. So let me actually just pull my screen up here for a second, because I want to show you something that we've done at Listing Leads. So one of the things that we did, I covered a lot of ground. We covered different titles, we covered different topics, we covered different hooks, we talked about video structure, we talked about the video metrics to measure. You could see here in Listing Leads, under the creator plan, we actually have organized all of the best videos in real estate. Now, I want to focus on one thing that's really important here. Can everyone see this, how we have like this 100x score here? This is something known as the viral score. We actually call it the outlier score. And so what that means is this particular video here actually was over 100 times more successful than the average video on that person's channel. And so the beauty of this is that we can find, call it creators who don't have a huge following. I'll post one up here. As an example, this guy right now, Nicholas, he's got 5,000 subscribers. This video had 82,000 views. I mean, that is incredible. And look at the video, by the way, not particularly over the top in terms of like the production quality. He's obviously adding some B-roll here in the video. 82,000 views in this video. He just posted it 5 months ago. So when you're in listing leads, you'll see that we include that outlier score as part of the process. So the first thing is every video that I cover, that I show today, we have that library within listing leads. We also have a link to all the hooks. These are all the different hooks that you can be using to drive more engagement with your videos. Now, let me show you the thing that everyone is loving about the update that we made. We now include the video of the week. And I'm going to pull this up so you can see this. So if you want to get good at YouTube, if you're like, hey, Jimmy, I really want to get good at YouTube, every week we give you a video topic that you can create for your YouTube channel. And every one of these videos is based off of a viral video, meaning this is not our idea. This is us taking a viral video and saying, okay, this did really well. Let's provide all the information you need to create this video. So what we do is we come in here, we create the show flow for you. We actually create the hook for you. We create the Canva template for you. We create the title, the video description, and the appropriate hashtags to use. And so when you go to create your video every week for your YouTube channel, you have literally everything you need to create, shoot, publish that video on YouTube. If you go to listingleads.com and you click on Get Instant Access, when you go ahead and sign up, I'll create an account right now live on the air with us. When you go sign up, you have two options. You have the listing attraction plan. That's the weekly plan. Here's exactly what you should do this week. Here's the text scripts, postcards, emails. It's all included in the listing attraction plan. For you guys, though, I would recommend the creator plan. This is really for everyone who wants everything we have here and also wants all the YouTube content, so all the YouTube library, as well as all the YouTube content we publish weekly. When you click on Get Instant Access, you're gonna have the option here to sign up for an account. Add into the promo code here. Add in the word video, all caps, and you will get 50% off your first month. So real quick, when you're joining, by the way, if you haven't heard about Listing Leads, fastest growing startup in real estate history, we are the go-to resource for all listing attraction ideas. If you want to get good at videos, we are determined to help you master that. I mean, we are fully committed to helping everyone on today's call get really good at video. So if you want to get good at video, go to Listing Leads, sign up, choose a creator plan. But I want to give everyone some value today. Just add under the promo code video and you will get 50% off your first month. And that will give you access to everything we have to offer. Just signed up. Yep. Support at Listing Leads. Yeah. So just to recap, for me, the biggest thing right now is that when I think about the future of 25, next year, I think we are going to have the best first quarter in the last 3 years. I really believe that. I believe we're going to have the best first quarter in the last 3 years. And what I would say is it's all dependent on what you do in November and December. I mean, I don't want you starting your marketing strategies after the new year. The things that you're doing now, the seeds that you're planting now are going to drive the opportunities that come in January, February, March. And so I am fully committed, whether you're new to real estate and you're trying to grow your business, or you're an experienced agent who's just trying to find a way to get better at marketing, or you've run a team and you're like, hey, listen, I gotta make sure my team is in motion. The reason that we exist at Listing Leads is to remove all the guesswork and eliminate all the friction when it comes to marketing and attracting listings. And I believe that YouTube is still, even in 2024 and 25, still a massively untapped channel. And so we want you to become successful. We want you to stop buying leads and start generating your own. That's what we really want you to do. I am going to make sure that we get the slides and the recording out to everyone so you have all the information we covered today. I hope today's session was insightful, but above everything, I want you guys I want everybody on today's call. I want you taking advantage of this incredible platform. I know I'm going all in on YouTube. That's why I'm working with people like Andrew Bayan. I am going all in on YouTube because I think there's such incredible untapped potential in that space. So it's time to get good. This is the time now.